So, two things before we start today. One, I got a little bit spoiled because if you couldn't tell, the chapter was very delayed. Two, if you notice, I'm wearing headphones today, and the reason for that is I have a guest. If you watch any of my old videos, a friend of mine tried to do some recordings with me, and we would do voice acting and stuff, and if you notice, that's kind of when I got better at voice acting, because he's good at voice acting. So, say hello, friend, and introduce yourself.
Hi, friends. My name is Kyle, aka Hero of Light 13. I currently have my own Twitch channel, the Light Stream. You can go and follow me over there. Tend to stream pretty regularly on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Also, I guess I consider myself a semi-casual Rent-A-Girlfriend fan.
He watched the anime, and he kind of knows what's going on. And the reason he's here is because he got a little bit hyped. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into the chapter and let's mosey. Her dear friend's smile was the only thing on her mind. So I kind of got spoiled on this. And in a way, I kind of saw it coming from the way it was structured. Because she was going through like a set of memories. And then it goes here.
I gotta be honest. The kind of the cartoony look they're going for right now kind of threw me off for a second after how serious everything was looking.
I think that's the idea. It's supposed to be like better times. So you don't feel as bad. And I think this whole conversation here is going to dictate how Negumi's going to react and feel. P.S. Sayuri's my favorite character. If you guys didn't know, Sayuri's my favorite character. How serious they are about each other, you ask? Oh, you can do Grandma Negumi if you want. I know you like doing her.
I missed her. I feel bad asking this, but I've been going out for 13 months, 2 weeks, and 5 days and 11 hours now. Man, right down to the dot. Does she have a separate watch for that?
I think it's supposed to really nail down how overbearing she is, because she very much represents that whole social pressure aspect within the story. She must have said something about him to her dear Oh yeah, she wants to know what she thinks. You've been keeping track quite well, I see.
Well, it's just that even now, I still have a hard time believing it's true. No one would have guessed that grandson of mine would end up with someone like her, you know. My grandson's a total sin.
Damn. Stop. Oh, don't say that. Kazuya-kun's a delightful young man.
Between you and me, you're the only person I know who's even said that.
Oof.
Jeez.
Unfortunately, she's not exactly the type to be all frank about her feelings and whatnot. I wonder if she's promised to keep quiet.
No, of course. In fact, I'd expect nothing less from a fine lady like herself. It's almost like she's a heroine from some big hit rom-com. She thinks she's just so important. There's just something about a woman with mystique. This is definitely fourth wall. This is definitely fourth wall. It's very cute. He's the first boy she'd ever introduced to me, you know. It's embarrassing to say, but I don't know. She's quite good at putting on an act when she wants to. So it's hard to say what she's really up to behind the curtain. Oh, is that so? It's not really a big deal, but it's quite rare to come across a true maiden like her nowadays.
Oh my god, what does that even mean?
I don't know. Jeez.
But if I had to say, I think those two will turn out just fine.
Oh?
Whenever they're together, I can almost see it. The two of them getting along great, surrounded by their children, their family. Oh, wow, she's doing it too! I thought it was just Negumi, but she's already seeing the future!
Aren't we just the luckiest bunch?
We sure are! The path to happiness isn't always easy. It's filled with ups and downs, and sometimes it's easy to lose yourself. But whenever I feel that way, I've got the old man urging me to press on. Are you really gonna get yourself down over something like that? He says.
Oh, she's still just like a youthful anime girl, just in an older body. That's a hell of a pep talk, just from hearing that, huh? When we hit the big double eights, we'll hold a big celebration at Asukayama Park, surrounded by all the cherry blossoms. 2 of us together.
Surely they'll have 2 kids by then, maybe 3. Fantastic, just hearing that makes me feel better already. I wonder what their names will be. So what's interesting about Sayuri, this line really highlights her character. because Sayuri is pretty much, she's kind of like a middle ground between the characters, and that's why she works so well, because she's a realist and a dreamer. While, for example, Kazuya struggles to be a dreamer because he's been conditioned to be a realist, while Chizuru is a realist who was taught to be a dreamer, but she's been disillusioned. So Sayuri's like kind of that middle ground, while the grandpa who died is like hardcore dreamer. He's like playing on a critical difficulty, you know? Okay, so back to the present. Oh, she's pissed. Oh no. Sayuri-san. Chapter 223, The Girlfriend and Paradise, Part 35. Miyajima Reiji, Kanojo, Okarishimasu. Dude, 35 parts. Holy crap.
I know this has been going for a while, but it feels like it only started like about a month ago.
Well, to be fair, you haven't been reading it with us. Well, actually, you were there in the first part.
No, I was there for like all the fun like happy-go-lucky times where there was still drama looming in the background, but it was before everything started really happening.
Yeah, a lot of the arc was a good deal of setup for specifically these kinds of moments, and I think this whole intro sequence is good because it really brings up this whole idea that just because they're side characters doesn't mean they don't go through their own experiences. And like we've pretty much all like knew they were friends and they talked. So it's important to like kind of show this to the audience so that they can understand. It doesn't feel like it's kind of forced. It makes sense that it would happen. Kazuya's mom. This has got to be a misunderstanding, right? Chizuru-san, you'd never dupe us like that, right? Oh, this is gonna be followed by a terrible line. I can feel it.
That's already a supercharged statement.
No, this is like the Anakin meme, dude. This is like the Anakin meme. This is like, oh no, you wouldn't do that to us, right? Right, Chizuru-san? If you didn't know, there's a chapter dedicated to Kazuya's mom where she feels sad because she doesn't have the ring, the wedding ring. And Chizuru buys her a ring, and they make a promise to talk about things. So this hits extra hard, cause they kind of have a relationship now.
They had a moment.
Yeah. God, Kibe's so ripped.
Jesus, bro.
Why is he so torn? Hold up now. We can't just brush this off. Chizuru-san, you're not actually his girlfriend? There's no way. You two are literally always together. Kibe, what about the time you stood up for him during the drinking party? And when you literally risked your life for her in Shimoda? You're telling me there was all rental jobs too?
I mean, they were in the middle of renting jobs, but it's not like it was all an act.
Yeah, it's not all an act. I'm just saying for them. It's like you don't know what's true and you don't know what's not. It doesn't make sense. It's confusing.
They don't even know that they're neighbors either.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody does except for Ruka. And what about the ring? Is it really appropriate for a rental girlfriend to be holding on to something like that? I can't believe you've been tricking grandma this whole time. I just can't. What in the world's been going on? Yo, Kazuchin, you gotta say something or what? Kibe, what's happening? You're kidding, right? Why is she the bad guy all of a sudden? This isn't really happening, right? Mami-chan, why would you say something like that? Then come here and say something like this. Forgive me, Kibe, I'm sorry. I'll own up to it, it's my bad, but Mizuhara, just leave her out of this. And Grandma's just been standing there the whole time. Do something, say something. Maybe she'll look past it. Maybe this once she'll believe her. Up, swinging first.
You know, I feel like this was bound to happen.
This is just Kibe in a nutshell. Swing first, ask questions later.
Well, to be fair,
he did ask questions.
Yeah, he did ask.
He did ask questions.
Then he jumped right to punching before he even got any straight answers.
Yeah, this is fucked up.
Kibe!
Oh, now it's turning into a scene.
Yeah.
Crap.
Now it's an actual scene.
Oh no, this is getting bad. Sir, are you okay?
Calm down, Yoshi!
Let me go, Curry! This isn't gonna be over until it's over! Kazuya, what the hell has gone into you? Negami-san ended up in the hospital over this, for God's sakes! All because she didn't know what she could do over Chizuru-san after Sayuri-san had passed. Do you have any idea how depressed she was? Wait. She did?
I wouldn't know. Wait, hold on. We agreed it would be the best idea to
talk about her about it, so we had to keep it from you too. Oh, they didn't tell him.
Do you not see the hypocrisy here?
We agreed it wouldn't be the best idea to talk to her about it, so we had to keep it from you too. I had no idea. It was your duty to cheer her up. You put our faith in you, and we still believed in you up until this moment. Didn't I tell you? Don't you ever dare fucking lie to Negami-san. Ain't that the promise?
That's enough, Yoshikai. We're disturbing the other guests. It's enough, young Skywalker. We're disturbing the other guests.
But Negami-san, it's all bullshit! In the end, it was all for nothing!
Be fine.
But...
I said I'll be fine! I'll be fine. Oh, I'll be fine. My grandson bringing a girl to me for the very first time. Just for me to find out she's a rental girlfriend. The family dinners. And the ring. I guess even dreams come with a price, huh? The laughter we shared. And the stories we told each other. Even if they're all a sham. I mean, that's what you get when your dreams are too good to be true. But someday, in the future, I'll look back and laugh it all off.
Grandma.
However, Chizuru-san, Sayuri-san believed in you. Until the very end. She left this world believing her dearest granddaughter had finally managed to introduce her boyfriend to her. If what Mommy Domo says is true, then I'm not letting this go. For her sake, there's no way I can let this go. I truly hope this is nothing more than a misunderstanding. Do you care to explain yourself?
What's she gonna say? What even is there to say? I mean, she lied. The fact is plain and simple. No, you don't know how worried and conflicted she was over this. She just didn't get a chance to tell her. I'm sure that's it. She could die and never forgive you. Whatever, it's all too late now. We've kept this lie going on for a year and a half. No matter what we say, they'll just brush it off as an excuse. Oh, this freaking sucks. Sayuri-san isn't even with us anymore. So I guess there's really nothing more we can do. Oh, the confession. That being said, I think there's no one who's better match for you.
I see. That's how it is, huh? I'm a bit tired. Oh my god.
Yo, that's smug!
Ah, that's so evil.
No. You've got it all wrong. If there were a list of the worst confessions in human history, what's about to happen next would top that list for sure. Don't do this. Without a warning, everything that's been bottled up inside me flew right out of my mouth. At this point, it'd be generous even to call it a confession. I'm sure most of you would consider this battle lost, but I've got a weapon in hand, as if I were a desperate knight. And so my final act had begun. Mizuhara, she's not like that at all. Next time, I must protect her. Even the tiniest flap of a butterfly's wing can cause a raging hurricane. Yo, Kazuya about to do some king shit.
Thought it might possibly make things worse, though.
But, like, what's important here, though, is whenever Kazuya does do these big confession moments, it's like a big, like, thing from the heart. And these things tend to be, like, super genuine and emotional. So, whenever Kazuya says something like this, like, it's gonna make, like, waves of change. And this has happened every single time he's done this.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
And funny enough, Mizuhara, she's not like that at all. That's actually very similar to a line he said directly to Mami in a much earlier chapter. Do you remember when we were reading it?
Yeah, no, the whole, like, aftermath from the bar scene.
Is because Kazuya, like, kind of bottles up his feelings a lot, and I think, like, what ends up happening is he has a lot of feelings and he has a lot of things he wants to say, but he keeps them inside because everyone tells him to keep them inside. Everyone tells him, you can't say what you want to say, you can't do what you want to say. This comes from the familial expectations and the familial pressure. It comes from his friends. This is shown through Kibe in this, where Kibe's, like, yelling at Kazuya, and he's literally telling him, didn't I tell you don't ever fucking lie to Negami-san? Ain't that the promise? Don't do that. He's looking at this very black and white. He's upset that Kazuya is lying and is looking at it from a very black and white perspective, only to tell him that he too was lying. Do you see the irony in Kibei's actions? He looks at it in such a black and white way, it doesn't realize the hypocrisy in what he's doing and what he's saying. And because of this black and white nature of the characters, of the side characters, it's essentially like making Kazuya bottle up his own feelings. And because of the social pressure, he's been conditioned to do that on a regular.
Yes. Kibei's giving me like sort of an adoptive brother vibe right now, in that
yeah, right?
He's as close to Negami-san as like anybody else in the family is at this point, so
I dare say he's closer.
Yeah, he's reacting this way because it feels just that personal. Like he's been way too.
Yeah, and that's why he asks all these questions. That's why he's like panicking, and because he doesn't get an answer, he just goes immediate reactionary mode. And, you know, unlike Negami, who's like not saying anything, she's processing this and she's thinking.
I feel bad for that lady in the background, though. She's just having...
Right? She's like, oh god.
Suddenly all this happens. Oh my god, who invited the anime in here?
I like how they're essentially showing the different reactions through this. So, like, for example, you have the whole thing with Negami-san where she's thinking about the past. They show denial. Then you have bargaining through Kibei. And then you have anger through Kibei, because bargaining and anger come together. So this is essentially going through the stages of grief. So first is like shock and disbelief, pain and guilt, then anger and bargaining. The final part is literally the upward turn, which is acceptance and hope. So this last part leaves you hopeful. You transition into acceptance and hope.
Like he's about to have his like big anime fuck you bad guy punch moment.
And you know what's fascinating? As I was writing my script recently, one thing I realized is that Kazuya's story is actually very much centered around the theme of agency. And I never quite realized this. Because like there's the whole like dreamer royalist thing, there's the whole growth and faults, but Kazuya's story very much centers around agency over his life, and it shows through the arcs that he goes through. So for example, when we start the story, he has no control over it, and then when he realizes he doesn't, he starts to feel sick. Then there's the arc where the second season takes place, where he's trying to take control of his life. And then in the movie arc, he essentially does that. He makes the step forward and he moves forward. And then in this arc, you're essentially seeing that sense of agency being slowly robbed away from him because of Chizuru's choices and decisions and because of Mami. And which is very ironic because Mami's doing this because she doesn't have agency. You see what I mean? And then finally, in the very end here, reclaiming your agency.
Yes. We just agree that there's like clearly a leader-follower dynamic with this whole thing right now.
I understand, it's okay. I guess we could touch on this too, the whole Ruka thing. Ruka had a conversation with her where Ruka asks her, what if Chizuru leaves? Well, what would you do? Ruka kind of has a stake in this now too, because, you know, she's seeing that dream being shattered in front of her. One of Ruka's things in the story has been definitely growth, I think, because what's going on with Ruka's character in this arc is specifically that she's starting to understand what it means to grow. Because Ruka is essentially in denial. She refuses to give this up under any cost, and she's slowly being taught that she can give this up, that she can grow and move on. This is kind of the point of this like aspect for her character, this stake for her character, where it's like she's kind of learning, hey, like I can't just force people to feel this way, because now that she's seeing Grandma Negami and feeling that pain herself, she feels really terrible and she doesn't want to do this anymore. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
While before she was very content with taking this route and hurting her as long as she gets with Kazuya. So in this way, she's seeing how she's hurting other people. And this is very interesting because she essentially hurt Chizuru in the arc, but she didn't realize it because Chizuru doesn't voice herself to people. It was like a dramatic irony kind of situation where Ruka, who doesn't want to feel pain anymore, who doesn't want to feel like she's empty and alone, makes someone else feel empty and alone. It creates this sense of irony in her choices where you essentially have to understand what the point is of what Ruka's doing, which is she's essentially a kid who doesn't understand the consequences of her actions. She doesn't understand what she's doing to other people. Like, she seems like she does, And she thinks about it for a moment, but then she moves on. She doesn't really marinate in the thought. It shows how essentially Ruka and like Kibe and much of the rest of the cast are more reactionary, while Kazuya like really thinks about things and takes his time and just like kind of pauses. And in this moment, you see how it hurts Ruka because she's kind of starting to see she's been really reactionary this whole time.
What I want to know is what is Curry's feelings about all this?
Curry pretty much knows everything. Curry knows more than everyone involved.
How's Kibe gonna react when Curry eventually says, I mean, yeah, I kind of knew for a while now.
Yeah, that would be funny as fuck. I wonder if he'd punch him too. Dude, I could see Kibe's jaw just dropping to the floor, and then the next panel he just punches the shit out of him, and then Kazuya's stopping him, and it's just like a buddy fight.
At that point, I wouldn't necessarily blame Kibe because he's just been kept in the dark out of so many things. Snake, what's wrong? What's happening? I don't know, Colonel. I was just swimming in the pool for a second, and then suddenly this big family or whatever is arguing and shouting and punching each other and some shit. What the hell's even going on? I can't even get one fucking week off and suddenly some drama is happening in the background.
I could imagine Snake just walking up and just like CQCing the shit out of Kibe and then walking away.
What the hell, kid? What the fuck is the matter with you? Oh, right. He's unconscious now.
I think I explained the whole thing with Sayuri's character where she's like kind of a middle ground between the characters, and that's why she's so understanding.
Even when she didn't get any direct answers or anything, she just was
she was accepting of it.
Yeah,
like even on her deathbed when Chizuru told her she was lying, she's like, it's fine, like life sucks, it is what it is, I'm not gonna blame you for lying, kiddo, like I'll love you either way, that's what it means to live. And I think once Kazuya does his big confession, I think like you'll have like a surge in the right direction where it's like, again, acceptance and hope. So you'll have like Chizuru's character, well, Mami's character will be addressed. What I'm saying is like, everybody be like, oh wait, so Mami's just the person who misunderstood this entire scenario. And you know, if you start thinking about it a little bit, like there's scenes where Grandma Negami saw Mami like kind of laughing about this and smiling about this. So, you know, Mami like looks like the bad guy and she doesn't even realize.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at, because suddenly that just, there's nothing left but her part in all of this, and if somebody's just keen enough to actually pay attention and think about everything she's like publicly done and said and acted up until this point, it doesn't quite line up with her depiction of events. And
funny enough, Kazuya can really take a punch because for some reason the wound isn't there anymore.
Well, either that or it's just completely obscured with how, like, you know, the guy's very well built, he's durable as hell, and he's got a massive dong. Why is he so perfect?
You know, his family sure seems to disagree.
Yeah, well, the diamond in the rough, diamond in the rough, diamond. This is a really rough family. I mean, also, kind of a micro-analysis, but the fact that this is all happening, like, at, like, a water park, basically, a pool and everything, and everybody's mostly just in swimsuits and everything.
Oh, yeah.
There's this extra degree of vulnerability involved, because...
Yeah, like physically.
Yeah, like everybody, it kind of reinforces the feeling.
Yeah.
But he's like practically naked at this point. Chizuru is showing the most skin, so she's the most vulnerable.
You're literally describing visual symbolism.
Basically, she's literally Venus, who's famous for like, you know, being completely naked in like the painting of the birth of Venus and everything. Thusly, she's paralyzed right now because this is she's
beyond vulnerable.
She's being fed to a monster of like guilt right now, basically. She
I guess Chizuru in that sense represents pain and guilt, because that is one of the stages of grief.
And plus, that can be very paralyzing.
Oh, I guess in that sense you can essentially represent each character, not necessarily the scenes, through the stages of grief. So it's like Grandma Negami is like depression wanting to transition into acceptance and hope, while Chizuru is pain and guilt. Mommy is whatever. We're not gonna talk about Mommy. She's the catalyst. She's the walking tragedy. Kibei's anger and bargaining, and then Kazuya's mom is shock and denial. I guess Ruka's also pain and guilt.
Curry's just there.
Curry's just there. He's there to show off his fancy teeth.
His fancy teeth, his sporadically changing hairstyle, and his not too scrawny physique too, actually.
Now dig on this.
He's probably one of the more innocent characters out of all of this, just because of how he got roped.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't try to cause any trouble. He doesn't try to do anything. He just talks to Ruka and he just tells her he was happy to see her. Like I guess that also reinforces that thing, like, the characters have their own arcs that are going on outside of what we see, outside of what the characters see. The story is about the characters, but it doesn't revolve completely around them in that sense, where it's like, sure, these events are related to them, but at the same time, it's like, they don't dictate the other characters' lives. Cool. Well, that's all we've had to say for today. If you guys enjoyed this content, please subscribe, hit the like button, keep up with the uploads like I said earlier. And of course, I'm working on a few things in the background. I've said this every single video for the past few weeks now, but let's not worry about that, because reasons. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. I've been Fate, he's been Kyle, Hero of Light. I'm gonna just call you Light. Doesn't that sound better? Just Light?
Hero works for me too.
I've been Fate and he's been Hero. You know, that's an interesting pair. He's been Hero, I've been Fate, and remember, was Mosey.